Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden 22. We are out here, man. We are actually surprisingly competitive this season, man. We are 5-5 as of right now. We got a doubleheader planned for you guys here today because we have played both the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings previously. So what I am going to do, we're going to have this little doubleheader, play the moments for both games. But before we go ahead and take care of that, we have a player meeting because we are coming off a short week. I believe this Chicago game is a Thursday night matchup. So, we got this short week, and we just have to make sure. Let's see what this little challenge is here. We'll see what we got going on. We'll see if we can go ahead and, skip the cutscene, see if we can get to the decision point. I guess not. So, the goal is to be fundamentally sound, beat the Bears, and commit, one turnover or less, So, play some good football. I think we can do that. We haven't really thrown the football all that much. But another thing that I want to cover real quick, I did end up changing the sliders. So, the Mac 22 sliders did come out, from Mac 10, and that's usually the guy that I go to. But another thing that I did bump it up from All Pro to All Madden, because it was getting a little bit too easy. We started off being not very good at the game in general, and now we're going to go ahead and, now that we are better at the game, we're going to go ahead and bump that up. And then here are the Mac 22 sliders as well that are going to be working with. And honestly, the biggest change is on the defensive side of football. Pass defense, interception, and pass coverage is going to be a lot less. And then it's also going to be the case for that as well for the CPU. So that's be nice to see. Special teams, field goal power was knocked down a little bit. But other than that, nothing too crazy happening. Oh, and fatigue is up, and the minimum player speed threshold, that will also that's got bumped up as well. That's now up to 75. So yeah, I'm real excited to play on these Mac 22 sliders. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get some doubleheader action. See if we can at least win one game this episode to remain 500. So let's go ahead and get this game underway. The first of two NFC North opponents that we are going up against. As DeAndre Swift starts off pretty well overall on the drive, and he was electric in our game last week. Over 200 yards on the ground. We're going to need some more of that here as well as we go ahead, try to hit him with a play action on 2nd and 2. But Jared Goff, though, ends up staring down his receiver. That is the #1 way to throw interceptions in the NFL. And the Chicago Bears defense, they certainly made us pay for that right there. It wasn't even close. Probably should have tried to throw it away. Chicago does end up going with a field goal. But that being said, though, we are trying to go ahead and try to work a drive of our own. We got some good work going on right now. We do end up picking a first down with DeAndre Swift. We'll see if we can go ahead and keep this drive alive, though. 1st and 10 coming up for us, though, as we drop back the pass, try to throw over the middle. Tyrell Williams able to make the catch in traffic. And now a 1st and goal situation awaits the Detroit Lions. We try to go ahead, see if we can get into the end zone here. 3rd and goal. We go to Tyrell again, but he drops the football. We end up having to settle for a field goal attempt, but that hurts the soul a little bit. That was a touchdown that we left off the board. And instead of taking the lead, we will end up tying this game, but hopefully that does not come back to haunt us later on. As Chicago is looking to try to drive themselves here on a 3rd and long. Justin Fields dropping back, facing some pressure. Does get it out to his receiver, but on a 3rd and 13, though, we do eventually get these guys off the field. Guys did a really good job rallying. They do end up getting a field goal, but in the second half, our defense is starting to fall apart a little bit. Our offense hasn't necessarily gotten going as of yet. Trying to target Jimmy Graham, that's incomplete. As now, 2nd and 10 coming up here. Justin Fields drops back. Going to throw a short one out to Tyreek Cohen. And Cohen actually does a really good job of picking up the first down. A goal line situation for the Chicago Bears all of a sudden, as we see another incompletion right there. But we actually bail them out a little bit, though. A flag is going to be called on us, roughing the passer on Michael Brockers. And it just goes ahead, sets up a brand new set of downs for the Chicago Bears to work with. Defense is still hanging strong, but we got to get a little bit more room here. Let's see if we can force a loss here of some sorts as 3rd and goal. Going to try to run it up the gut, and they get it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. And David Montgomery finds his way through the crease of his offensive line. And Chicago scores another touchdown. We cut to later on in the 3rd quarter. Our offense has really started to stall out right now, and now the defense has been out for the grand majority of this game, at least like here in like the Madden moments that I've been provided with thus far. Like, we just have not been able to really get the job done on the offensive side of the ball, and it's certainly showing. David Montgomery too starting to help this offense heat up as they score yet another touchdown. So they end up getting some more points onto the board. And beyond that, you know, it just really became a blowout for us here, man. We just had a really rough time in this game at the end of the day. We even missed this throw. That could have been a touchdown if we actually would have been able to connect with Tyrell Williams, but that just didn't happen for us here. And, I mean, that's just how this game went. You know, we could not, you know, get points on the board. And Chicago, got to give Chicago credit. They got the job done when they needed to. And look at that. We're just kind of trying to play with a little bit of pride here. Try to play hero. Trying to at least, you know, have the ball in our hands long enough to make sure that a 50-burger can be prevented. Because there's no doubt we're going to lose this game one way or the other. As we almost end up getting intercepted right there. The momentum completely on their side. As now, 2nd and 10 coming up here. Going to try to yeet it deep because, you know, why not at this point? Looking around, facing some pressure, trying to throw it upfield for Quintez Chavez. He ends up dropping it, though. Although asking him to make a catch in double coverage, that's a little bit tough to ask. Because, I mean, we're trying to push it downfield, but it's just, they're doing a really good job of covering those receivers at the end of the day. We end up another 4th down conversion. You hate to see it. And that's how this game is going to end as well. No surprises here. We end up dropping the first game in this episode, man. We lose 47-3 in this game. That is embarrassing. You know, a team that's, you know, in the hunt for a playoff spot, losing to your divisional opponent the way that we just did right there. That's going to be the #1 way that we get kept out of playoffs. A season-defining moment. And you want to go ahead and talk about an embarrassing performance? We couldn't get anything going. We lose 47-3. Are you serious right now? And just taking a deep dive into the stats real quick. It is not pretty. How do you end up with a QB rating of 0? We're talking about 0, you guys. 14 for 49, 6 interceptions. I only threw 1 of them. The other 5 were in, you know, those moments that, you know, weren't when we were actually playing, you know how, you know, Madden is with that. And we couldn't even get much on the ground. Jared Goff was not too bad. 5 carries for 43 yards. DeAndre Swift was also held pretty silent. 9 carries for 29 yards in this game as well. And I'm just looking around. Nobody had a good game. Brashad Perriman, 6 catches for 34 yards. TJ Hockenson, 3 catches for 18. Tyrell Williams, 3 for 19. Quintez Chavez, 1 for 13. You know, it was just a tough game all around. Jawani Tavai ended up leading us in tackles on the day, but I mean, I don't think, did we even force a turnover? I don't think we even forced a turnover, did we? Yeah, we did not get a single turnover whatsoever. We did get a couple sacks. Alex Anzalone as well as Trey Flowers did end up with some sacks in this one, but man, that was a really tough game to swallow, and hopefully when we get into the second part of this doubleheader, maybe we play a little bit better than getting blown out 47-3 like we just saw here. But on the plus side, if there is anything positive that we can take away from this game, is that we did at least see multiple guys earn upgrades. Amani Akuye, he ends up, getting a nice little upgrade. We're gonna put it towards slot, and he actually goes up 2 overall points. He's up to an 82 overall. It's an 80 with the with getting that the morale boost that we somehow still have. Jeff Okuda is also going to go ahead and get an overall boost as well. We get him at least up to a 76. So that's, really nice to see. He does have star development, which is nice to see because he is somebody that we did, draft, with a lot of draft capital. And then, of course, Tracy Walker's going to go in. He's going to get a upgrade as well. He's going to move up from a 73 up to 74 after we give him the run support upgrade, +1 to awareness, block shedding, and play recognition, and +2 tackling. So at least there's that. But now let's go ahead, see what we can do against these Minnesota Vikings. Hopefully it's better this time around. So let's see if this Viking games that we also happen to have here at home, we'll see if it turns out a little bit better for us here than the 47-3 loss that we ended up taking last week. And by the way, guys, if you like how this video is edited, let me know down in the comments as well. I might do more double headers like this in the future with how how the moments are set up, that way to get through like the season and frankly through the series a little bit faster, because 17 games, it's a lot of games. I do want to play them all, but I mean, it does take a long time just to get through one season. That's not even including the playoffs. So yeah, man, just let me know down in the comments if that's something that you like to see, some more like Madden moments versus like just playing through like an entire game, unless it's like an important primetime game, for example. But that being said here, we're going to go ahead and hand it off to DeAndre Swift, and we're doing a little bit better job of getting DeAndre Swift going, getting some good yardage there with our tailback, get us into a reasonable third down situation here. We actually do a good job getting it out to Brashard Perriman here over on the exterior. Not very far that we ended up throwing the football, but it is enough for us to go ahead and pick up the first down, which is exactly what I'm looking for. And look, we're doing a great job here of really taking some time off the clock, putting together a methodical drive. And that was something that we didn't do against these Chicago Bears. That was something that we definitely really struggled against, in our last game against Chicago. But now here in the second quarter, we're now inside the 10 as Tyrell Williams fumbles it, but thankfully TJ Hawkinson was at least there to go ahead and pick up, the fumbled ball for us, and even picked up a couple yards. So, that was exactly how he ended up drawing it up. Is now 3rd and goal. Going to try to see if we can punch it into the end zone here. Going to need a little bit of help, though, as you try to throw over the middle. We did have Brashard Perriman, but unfortunately for us, so it's going to be well short of the marker. We will go ahead and bring our field goal team out, settle for a field goal, unfortunately, which Matthew Wright sinks through. He is a pretty bright spot. We're definitely bringing him back as a kicker for season 2, I would believe. But, that being said, though, another 1st and 10 coming up for us here. And the defense, at least in this game, has been doing so much better. Haven't seen any moments for this Viking offense just because the Vikings offense has been, pretty stagnant. Kirk Cousins just really having a pretty difficult time, and Dalvin Cook too, to a lesser degree. And as we're looking around, trying to get it out deep downfield, dangerous throw. I'm actually happy that it wasn't intercepted, but we need to do a better job of passing this football. Passing the football has not been looking good for us here for the most part. As we actually try to run with Jared Goff, I was hoping that at the very least, DeAndre Swift can, get a block out for me. That would have been a big run if that was the case, but we did have to punt away, and it didn't have much effect on the score. But we'll go ahead and cut to this 3rd quarter, though, trying to run it in. Jack Ragnaw misses a block for us. Probably should have cut it to the left-hand side in hindsight, but again, settling for another field goal here. A pretty tough, pretty close battle as of right now. We do end up getting yet another field goal in order to go ahead and make this a 6-0 game here for the time being. But yeah, it's been a problem for us trying to, get comfortable in the red zone. 2 red zone trips right now, but only 2 field goals to show for it. Hopefully, this next time around, we can end up putting a touchdown on the board. At least make it a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. Put us in a good spot, as we got Jared Goff throwing to the left-hand side. And Tyrell Williams is going to find the end zone, baby. Touchdown, Lions. Let's go, baby. You absolutely love to see it, man. Finding Tyrell Williams over on that left-hand side. And that is going to help bring in at least, it should have been a 13-3 game, but we simulated the extra point, and Matthew Wright actually misses the extra point. So it's actually 12-3 as of right now for the time being, but we do have the football once again here with 4:50 left to play here. It is 3rd and long, so am going to have to go ahead and pass this football. We had somebody open here trying to get it out there, but Jared Goff throws an inaccurate ball. That would have been a touchdown if we would have been able to connect. Yeah, absolutely hate to see it, though, as Kirk Cousins now, he's facing some pressure. They actually try to go for it on 4th down, but like I said, the defense has been playing extremely hard, and I really love to see what they're doing. So our offense, as a result of that, we get some phenomenal field position to work with, and look at that. We're going to have yet another 1st and goal opportunity. Maybe we can, mess around and get 2 touchdowns on the board. We'll see what happens here on this basically 1st and goal. We find TJ Hockenson, but he fumbles the football into the end zone. They are going to go ahead and get it called as a touchback, but that one, oh boy, that one really hurts, man. TJ Hockenson, at least it would have gotten us a whole lot closer. Maybe been able to punch it in with, like a DeAndre Swift or Jarrell Williams. So that one definitely is a tough one to swallow here for the time being. But, this Minnesota squad, it's still fine. They're going to fight to the very end here. So we actually are going to go ahead and trying to go for it here on 4th and short so that we don't give this football away. But we get lit up like a Christmas tree in the backfield, unfortunately. So we will have to go ahead. We do go hand the football back over to this Minnesota squad. Definitely not completely out of it yet with like a 150 left to play, but they got to score on this drive here. 4th and 7 would seal it, and Kirk Cousins, no surprises here, simply goes ahead and throws a really bad pass. So now our offense is going to go ahead and take the field, and Oluye almost ended up having that interception for us, granted, but most important thing to us here at the end of the day is we do end up winning this game against the Minnesota Vikings. We do gain a game in the NFC North, but it also does keep us alive in the playoff race. We may not necessarily, it might be a long shot for us to win the division this year, but with how things have gone so far, this win will at least still go ahead and put us in position, go to the wild card. So while this game certainly was extremely ugly for us, we did find a way to come out on top, and that is the most important thing for us here at the end of the day. Jared Goff, was efficient for the most part. Didn't have to do anything too aggressive. 24 for 32, 195 yards, and a touchdown. No interceptions either. Ground game was also significantly better, which is something I do like to see. Led by DeAndre Swift. He had a much better day on the ground overall. 31 carries for 117 yards. Then for the receivers, man, Tyrell Williams was able to find the end zone, 4 catches for 47 yards. But Brashad Perriman got involved as well. He had 9 catches for 71 yards on the day. As on the defensive side of football, the defense was doing a really good job here today. Jamie Collins did lead the tackles. or did we? The team in tackles. He ended up with 5 solo tackles, ended up with 6 overall tackles on the day. Also contributed with an interception as well. That was the only turnover that we forced on the day. Tracy Walker wasn't too far behind. He ended up with 5 tackles. No turnovers though. We did also get quite a few sacks out there on the field. Alex Aluzier ended up with 2 sacks, a 5th-year pro from Florida. Doing some great work. That was his 2 only tackles. Trey Flowers ended up with a sack. He had 4 tackles on the day. And then Jeff Okuda and Michael Brockers each had half a sack. They were also able to go ahead and get to his quarterback. 4 sacks, an interception, and only allowing 3 points as well. I love to see the effort. So we find ourselves with 5 games left to play. I have to remember that there are officially 17 regular season games instead of 16. I think that's weird, but I mean, that's just my personal opinion. This is what the playoff picture is going to be looking like, and it looks like we aren't in the picture right now, but judging where things are shaking right now, looks like we are still in the thick of it, ladies and gentlemen. Just taking a look at the NFC standings real quick. So for reference, the Bucks are currently the 7th seed. If the season ended today, they are 6-6 right now. That's the record that we have at the moment. We are 6-6. We are also in this playoff hunt ourselves. So anything could happen here. It is a pretty tight, it's a pretty close race overall. Actually, there's, how many teams do we have? We got the Seahawks, Packers, 49ers, Bucks, and the Lions. So we had 5 teams out here with the same exact record as of right now. And then on top of that, there's only 4 spots here. So things are going to get really tight. It's going to be really interesting, man. So I'm going to end the episode here. Next time out, we will play a full game this time around. We'll go on the road to play in Mile High Stadium to take on the Denver Broncos. It's going to be a really good episode, man. So if you're as ready for it as I am, I need you guys to go ahead and do me a favor. Smash that like button for me. Hit me up down in the comments as well. And shoot, if you have to be brand new to the channel and like what you see, hit that subscribe button for me. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. With that being said, this is John J. Gaming on the mic signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.